I think even between the two of us, and that's where even our content spawned from, is our day to day. We're always saying weird stuff, like just for the fun of it, you
Yeah,
know, because
literally,
it's kind of like that little spice of life. Because we were talking about this last week or earlier this week, where like even when we're upset, we make jokes.
If you don't find the funny in everything in life, I don't think you're really living
Yeah.
life. And it's the best psychiatrist you could ever have internally,
time.
right? If you always just look for the funny in every situation, then it's
Absolutely.
it's
I
never
think
as bad.
The thing that also helps us is that we don't take ourselves too seriously either.
Even if you go back all the way to like you said, we had a pretty stable like household and everything was very light. But there are a lot of times where like we're getting scolded, for example, and we're like,
Yeah.
and our dad is like, "Am I a joke to you?" And he's like, "I'm sorry." And then that's something that like we've picked up on is like the switch of like being a very funny situation and then going like completely serious out of nowhere is in itself funny.
I mean, since we're here and since there's two of you and this is a 2-on-1 thing, why don't you guys introduce the episode? Like,
Sure, yeah.
You
I
know?
swear, if you haven't remembered the name of this podcast before you do this now, because I'm putting you on the spot, I want you to introduce the name of the podcast.
I got
know
it.
Dayo might not because he hasn't followed me back because he's like that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know,
That's not true.
I'm going to introduce. That's so true, bro.
That's not true.
That's 100% true.
That's not true. I guarantee. Nah.
Let's check now, bro. Let's check now.
No, wait. Let him check.
No, no, actually, no, you're right. Check, yeah. Yeah, go on.
Just did it, right?
Nope.
It tells me when, you know that, right?
Yeah, go for it.
Dayo.
Eh?
Oh no, it's not Dayo. Black
Yeah.
Looney Tunes. Black
Black-
Looney Tunes.
Black
See,
Looney
I
Tunes.
even know like
Yeah,
not
yeah.
just his real name, but the name that he goes by, his superhero name as well, bro. Okay. 100% it was today, bro. 100% it was today. 100%
So
it was
actually,
today.
it was day off because I managed his account as well.
See, so it's your fault. How long has he been putting you in the shit, bro? And you know, people have been sitting there abusing you for something you didn't do.
To be fair, not
This is
very
very
long.
recent.
Yeah,
this
not
is
very
very
long.
recent.
Yeah.
But did you tell him to do it?
No, I didn't.
No.
Okay, so technically it's still you who hasn't.
Yeah.
Technically, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Think
we
of-
started ages ago, bro.
Maybe
This started with shots fired. This whole episode, Deji and Dayo, welcome. It's been a long time coming that I've wanted to get you guys on the show, even though we have only kind of mixed paths recently, and you know, a real one. You've been following me for a while now, for a whole week, and Dayo, from today, it's an absolute pleasure to have you guys here
Yeah, it's a pleasure to be
and to
here.
meet up with you, because funny how we had very similar mind frames before we started the episode, and we're talking about stuff that's happening.
True.
Yeah.
And it's kind of crazy, right? When so many people are talking about so many things in our industry, you're like, oh yeah, so everyone knows the system's broken.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think even every time that it comes up, I think we're surprised, which I think is a bad thing.
Yeah.
I think it's a really bad thing because I mean, you know, it's social media, right? So you see everyone that's doing their thing. You see what everybody's up to for the most part, and then you know, just
And you see them doing it together as
Yeah.
well,
Exactly,
which makes
yeah.
it even worse.
Yeah.
So I've decided, just like Trump, I'm gonna make the best agency. It's gonna be the best. It's better than China. It's better than everyone. No, but we really need to come together and do the Avengers, bro. Because it's like it's been a long time coming, and it's sad that we're such a small place, but how everyone is fearing that there's not enough food to go around for everyone, right?
Yeah.
Which
And I
is
think
crazy.
the most interesting thing about it is there's a lot of people that do make a lot of similar content also. Like all of us bigger people, I would say we do very similar. There's a few things that like separate our niches. So I think it's a long time coming where we maybe not even necessarily like a shoot or something, but like a meetup, you know, connect, network, and get to know each other, and you know.
Yeah, it's weird. It really is a Dubai thing that I noticed as well, where sometimes indirectly, without realizing, you kind of forget to call. And like I have like arguments with my friends when I'm calling them. They're like, message me. I'm like, I don't want to message you. I want to hear your voice, and I want to know that you're sad today, and I want to cheer you up because of that kind of thing, you know?
Yeah.
And Dubai has this weird way of kind of days flying past and you don't realize that you haven't been in contact with anyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm still not going to let that pass and say that's the reason. But I feel like as a community, we need to all come together.
Yeah, definitely.
So on that point, if you could lend me a 50,000 dirhams today.
50,000?
Just
Okay.
50. Oh,
I'll have to check my...
We have to
My
call the
other-
guy, the accountant.
Yeah.
The accountant is
organizer.
another guy.
Yeah.
But guys, again, your content is hilarious. It's so smart.
Thank you. Yeah.
And I love it when people take initiative to kind of raise the bar. And you guys have been doing that.
Appreciate it. Thank
One thing that I wanted to talk to you about, and this is hilarious to me as well, is people in the comments. And it kind of is weird to me that people act so educated, but at the same time, don't realize that what we're doing is either satire or comedy. Prime example, I'll start you off with one of mine. There's this viral video going around. This guy, he's being really cool and sexy, and he's like, 2 babies in a womb. One of them says to the other, do you think there's life after birth? And then the other one's going, no, how could there be life after birth? And it's basically a metaphor for, is there life after death?
Yeah.
So it goes on for like 10 minutes. So my initial comment was, I wrote in the comments, wow, these babies have a great vocabulary.
that's the first thing I was thinking.
Right? So obviously, to anyone with a bit of a brain, would be like, okay, that was funny. Like, do you know how many people I got genuinely going, Jabba, that is not what this is about. Like, and proper, like, people like insulting me that I'm so stupid. And it's only till recently, after like 1,000 something comments, that someone's going, you do know he's joking, right?
I think that's, in fact, funny enough, I've been dealing with that for a while, but I think he has a better story to tell than me. So take it away.
Brother. There's many, actually. It's more than one video, because what we did was, I'm even going to ignore like Instagram, ignoring Instagram entirely.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole thing. But like we started posting on Facebook.
Yeah.
And you
those
can
old
imagine.
folk, bro.
Yeah, you can
And
imagine.
they were coming for blood.
What kind of stuff were they doing?
I've never had so many personal attacks. They're like, oh, you're uneducated, your mom should have all sorts of stuff like that. And I'm just like, huh. That's crazy.
There were 2 videos. There was the one about cheetahs and
The one
the
about
one
cheetahs,
about the pin code.
About the horsepower.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the one about the pin code. Yeah.
And I think to us it was really funny, but it was also really concerning, because if you not even let's even ignore that video, right? If you open our page in general, you can just tell by the aura.
Yeah, of course.
And then they come to those videos in particular, and they're so like, actually.
But I don't understand it, because because some of the stuff that you do, like I have 7-year-old twins. If they had watched it, not knowing anything about satire or anything, they would laugh and know you're not being serious. Now you're a grown-ass man with 3 kids and a business, and a successful business. How did you get to that?
I don't know what to tell you. Chief.
Bro, it's weird, because
I don't know what to tell you.
these people, they click the racism card. If you say one thing,
Woo!
like I'll tell you another one.
Yeah.
Let's exchange some. So my one, I had obviously our friend Simon on here.
Yeah.
We're talking about the why are you gay situation. And I said, because I'm doing a funny comedic podcast and I don't have time to break down all of Africa in its every state and everything, I said, very simply, I think why that reel hit home so well, that meme, is because of the African accent, made it even funnier. If it was a British guy saying it, all I did was African accent.
Fair.
All I said was African accent.
Yeah.
Then the Ugandans started going wild, even though they were loving on the other one. Oh, what do you mean African? It's a Ugandan accent. You can't say all is Africa, you racist. I was like, motherfuckers, if someone's from Chile, I'm going to say South American accent.
Yeah,
I'm not going to say he's Chilean. You guys are from Nigeria. Nigeria has over 525 different ways of speaking and different accents, different dialects.
Yeah.
Like if I had said, oh, the Nigerian accent, they would have been like, no, you mean Yoruba? Like, guys, come on. Like, this is a fast-paced thing. I don't have time to break it down to which part of Uganda.
I think, and that's the beauty of it is, or the beauty of it, I think, or the funny thing about it is, I think there's always gonna be some people are just always gonna have a problem.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
Why?
no matter what.
There's even Ugandans who are going, you guys are stupid. He's just saying it quickly.
Yeah,
Do
generally.
you know what I mean?
yeah.
And then the best comment. So this is how you can see these uneducated Americans who have never traveled the world.
That's the funniest
Motherfucker,
one.
it's
That
clear
is-
That's
that
the
is
that
the
this
funniest
is a
best.
British accent to start with,
The
right?
number of people that come in and like these Americans.
Oh,
are
these
really stupid.
Americans. And
I'm
we're
like,
just
what?
like,
My favorite thing is where are the Americans?
Where?
Yeah.
Like,
Show them to me. Like point them because I don't.
There
I
was
stopped.
that
I
one-
stopped reading them now.
what was it? The one that we did about bodybuilders.
Yeah.
So we did one
Oh.
about the line was something along the lines of I think if bodybuilders can take
Drugs, then how come
can't
you
take
can't use
drugs
can't take drugs.
then
why
how
can't
come
you use makeup and beauty pageants?
in beauty pageants
Makes sense.
and women from all around the world.
Came
No,
in.
women, white knights, and I don't even
All sorts of
they
people.
were all
dog.
like, oh, of course. They started taking a personal attack on him.
me, they're like,
They're
oh,
like,
it's
oh,
always dudes that look like this. And
yeah.
I'm like, look like what you guys say? I don't understand. Then there was
That's so
someone else that was
funny.
like, they
It's
said some
weird,
really
bro.
vile stuff.
Yeah,
And
I
I'm
had
like-
to come in.
I was
had to
like,
come in.
what I asked and what you have responded to, should we be like,
Yeah,
is that
yeah,
a
yeah.
measured response?
Yeah.
And they just never responded again. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Bro, it's just weird. And the fact is, they don't take the time to look at another video
Yeah, yeah.
or to get to know you or whatever. Like the amount of weird comments that people say, like one woman was like, you know, it's clear coming from a racist against black people. Okay, face value, okay, fine, no problem. But if you knew me, you'd know that my first wife was Trinidadian. I have a son from her who's 23. My current wife is Somali, right? So it's like what are you guys jumping the
Apart from
things? Like,
anything
I'm
else,
doing
would
so
you-
bad about this. I'm doing so bad at being a racist that I've got.
Yeah, I was gonna
Three
say,
black
yeah.
kids.
Very,
Like-
very deep undercover. Very deep undercover.
but it's weird,
Very
right?
deep
It's like
undercover.
they just
Yeah.
I mean, I think it's just the way that videos are being fed to people nowadays. You just come across it. You don't really have the time to start doing like background checks. So you're just like, oh, you take it at face value, and then that's it.
Because even that's
Yeah.
something, yeah. Because, for example, we get our content stolen a lot.
yeah,
Yeah.
obviously.
And between that and like social media in general, I've noticed that like a lot of people don't confirm where they're getting their content from.
Yeah.
Because you would have our post on somebody else's page, and then those people are like, "Oh, you guys are fun." You know, they're typing as if this is the
Yeah,
main
yeah.
account, and we're just there looking at each other like
And they don't credit as well.
they don't
They don't
credit.
credit
no.
as
Yeah,
well.
but I mean, it's good and bad. Like I've
Yeah.
had some of my videos, especially in the UFC world. So I've done so many episodes with UFC champions and fighters and
Yeah.
stuff, and people will clip that, and then my son will be like, "Yo, you know this dickhead's got 20 million views off your short that he stole from you, and he didn't mention you."
Yeah, that's about right.
And then in the beginning, I used to like message them and say, "Be nice if you could just say,"
Yeah,
or point them to the full episode kind
Yeah.
of thing. Like, but then you get it. It's kind of like, you know, in the bodybuilding world, when people take steroids and claim they're natty, they don't want to actually say that, you know,
Fair.
they had help or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
And that's good for you guys as well, because it shows if someone's stealing your stuff, you guys are doing
means
good.
we're
Yeah,
doing
that's
something
something
good.
we're coming
Yeah.
to terms with
We've-
now
yeah.
because like it really after it was the snap your fingers
Snap your
one,
fingers. Oof.
and then from that
So
video we're
good.
like, oh, okay, a lot of people have stolen that. We need to put watermarks
Yeah.
on the video, and we did that for a while. It was fine, but they were still stealing it anyway
Yeah,
with the
In
watermark.
fact,
Yeah, yeah.
it was they got creative.
Yeah.
they
Oh
started
my
like
God.
cropping like just our faces like this.
Just the eyes.
yeah,
The eyes,
and
not
we were
my
like,
fingers.
"Are you serious?"
Turning down the quality to high hell so you can't see the
yeah,
watermark.
turning
Yeah,
down
yeah.
the
Like,
quality
you know,
or putting like their own subtitles on top of the
and I'm just like,
watermark.
it's fine.
So
Okay,
we're like, yeah, we even stopped doing it now.
Yeah, but
'Cause-
just let it be, dude. Because it's
Yeah.
gonna happen, and the more and more you get known, and on top
Yeah.
of that, even if other creators are stealing it and doing it themselves, repeating what you're saying,
Yeah,
they ain't got no more content until you put more content out,
true.
and then you're gonna get the first views on that.
And I think the beauty of it also is, thankfully, we didn't choose to be like anonymous creators or anything.
Mm.
So no matter where the video is, it's my face.
Yeah.
Like you can't take my face yet.
Yeah. Yet, right?
AI. Yeah.
Yeah,
But like you can't take my face yet. So like no matter wherever the video is going or it's being seen, it's still my face. So
Yeah.
like I'm like, okay.
They tried with the AI babies though.
Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah, they made us into babies with AI. That
Oh, was it?
They made us
Was
into
it good?
babies. It was okay.
You didn't want to steal it?
It was weird.
No, it
You
was
steal it back from them. Imagine you having to steal your own content back from someone else. And Wynn's there laughing. And you see how he's ducking and hiding. I'll tell you why. Because I've been telling him to make me a baby for 3 months now, bro. And this motherfucker still hasn't done it, bro.
I'm gonna need you to clarify when you say that. That's
Make me a baby.
Look, take it any way you want. He hasn't done any of them. Either that way or that way. It hasn't been done. But where do you guys... And again, this is a weird question because I've been to many countries in Africa. I spend a lot of time there. I'm actually going back next week. So I personally know Africans, like Arabs, like West Indian people, have a certain type of humor that is not... They're not trying to be funny. They're just funny. Just growing
Yeah.
up, seeing my
Yeah,
friends'
yeah,
parents,
true,
my
true.
parents, it's just innate in us that we do funny stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So
agreed.
how much was that an influence for you guys growing up, having that?
I think that was everything.
I think that's the
Yeah.
the basis of everything. Yeah.
Because we, first of all, growing up, we actually were on TV in Nigeria.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we got the acting skills from there. But also, luckily, we were able to be in a household that was very, like, pretty relaxed in terms of,
Mm.
like, comedy or, like, what.
Yeah.
So our sense of humor kind of built off from our parents and the media that we consumed and
They just watch a lot of cartoons too.
cartoons.
A lot of '90s cartoons too.
Yeah, a lot of 90s.
Where
like,
they just didn't give a fuck.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
was the best time, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think even between the two of us, and that's where even our content spawned from, is our day to day. We're always saying weird stuff,
Mm.
like just not even. I wouldn't even say like just for the fun of it, you
Yeah,
know, because
literally,
because like it's there's I feel like it's kind of like that little spice of life. Because we were talking about this last week or earlier this week, where like even when we're upset, we make jokes.
You might be funny. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm the
yeah,
same, dude.
yeah.
Like even at a funeral, I'm like
Yeah.
nervous. I'm just like,
Mhm.
but you have to,
Especially when
because-
you're not supposed to.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you have to, because if you don't find the funny in everything in life, I don't think you're really living
Yeah.
life. And it's the best psychiatrist you could ever have internally,
time.
right? If you always just look for the funny in every situation, then it's
Absolutely.
I
never
think
as bad.
The thing that also helps us is that we don't take ourselves too seriously either,
Mm.
which is
Yeah.
pretty
I mean,
much
it's
what
it's
spawned.
it's very clear when we're being serious and when we're joking. But even when we're being serious, somebody's always going to say something
Yeah.
on the side that's like,
Yeah.
okay, but
Yeah.
shut up.
I can imagine you're like me, like whenever like I'm trying to be serious, I'll say it in a way that's a joke, but there's always truth in jest, right? So like
Yeah,
if the person thinks about it for a minute, he'll be like, oh yeah, maybe he was
Yeah,
trying
yeah.
to tell me something here.
I mean, even if you go back all the way to like you said, we had a pretty stable like household and everything was very light. But there are a lot of times where like we're getting scolded, for example, and we're like,
Yeah.
and our dad is like, I might joke to you, and he's like, I'm sorry. And then that's something that like we've picked up on is like the switch of like being in a very funny situation and then going like completely serious
Mm.
out of nowhere is in itself funny.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
that's a lot of the stuff that we do even in the hit videos as well.
Yeah.
Because that's the entire point of the hit videos was he's saying ridiculous stuff, but he's dressed
I mean,
seriously.
being so
Mm.
serious, stoic, you know, like stone faced.
No, I get it, but you know what annoys me the most about your work, both of you? It's so stupid, it's so smart, bro. Like,
Yeah.
like no, but even the stuff that you're saying is stupid and you want it to sound stupid, if you actually break it down, you're making total sense. Like you actually are.
We recorded something not too long ago where he said something and we literally stopped and we were like, can we get away with that? Does that actually make sense?
No, but most of it does
Yeah.
make sense. And it depends how you're looking at it. And I'm always just like, touche. Like, when I watch you guys stuff, I'm just like, yeah. And sometimes I overthink it and I think, oh no, this one's just for me. It's a message saying only the smart ones like me will actually get how deep this actually
Well,
is.
some of them are like that, actually.
Yeah,
some of them
yeah.
are like that.
Some of them are like
Some of them
that,
are very layered like that.
Yeah.
And there's obviously like there's continuity, there's
Yeah.
callbacks and stuff like that. So if you're
Right.
watching it, you got you.
We're trying to, in fact, the current like plan now for the content is to kind of expand in a way where we're still doing the if thing, but also like we're expanding on the characters per se, of the two people in the podcast. So we've even been considering making like an actual long form podcast, but like it's still a spoof. So we've been playing with that idea. So.
But this is the thing. That's the beautiful thing about comedy and content. It's limitless.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like I told Win, like I want to start doing podcasts as him where we pretend to be people from history.
That's a good one.
But we actually talk like we're them of what they would have thought.
Yeah.
Mm.
So like, you know, you got Gandhi and Hitler sitting there having a podcast and they're bringing up, they're just talking normally how
Yeah.
we'd be talking. And it's like, would they really think like that and go through everyone kind
That'd
of
be
thing
dope.
and
That'd be
ask different
dope.
questions?
Yeah.
Well, now we have more characters coming into it.
That'd
now.
Yeah,
be
you can
dope.
have guests.
That'd be
One thing
dope.
come in and
you
dress
know,
up
I
too.
think is a great one, and we can take it out if you want. That's just me thinking that my comedy is so high that you're going to use what I'm saying. But the if guy, just arguments with him and his wife, where you set it up with a woman, a real woman. I don't know, as opposed to what we were going to say instead, where she'd be trying to have serious conversations with you, but you'd be like,
basically, yeah.
like I just show him in different parts of life.
Yeah.
So outside of that,
Yeah.
like, you know, that he gets
Outside of
stopped.
the
He gets stopped by the
podcast,
police,
yeah.
and they're
Yeah.
asking for his license, and he's
Yeah.
like, "If."
Because the current thing we have going on is where, like, to call back to the thing that we're talking about at the beginning, a lot of people like call us dumb.
Mm.
So the one that we played on was, he was like, okay, where we actually made a video. He was like, okay, I'm gonna ask you some questions to prove that you're not dumb.
Yeah.
And then I basically gave the wrong answer to everything.
Everything. Yeah, yeah.
But but it was like, it was not wrong. It was like
Yeah, yeah.
if you
it's
think
not the
about
answer you're looking
My
for.
same
looking
point that
for
I'm
it.
saying. Yeah, exactly.
So we want to do more stuff like that. Yeah, definitely.
100%. One thing I do love about you guys is your dynamic together,
Yeah.
and it's a beautiful thing because it goes further than the content. Your brothers at the
Yeah,
end of the day,
yeah.
and it must be a beautiful thing to do something with your brother and more meaningful.
Yeah, it really
Right?
is, because we've been trying to do content for like almost 10 years now.
Yeah.
So it just stuck in September
Mm.
because I think like I said, we were in the industry in Nigeria, so we kind of had this I guess
Passion, drive,
talent,
yeah.
drive, and just like it's like an on and off switch, you know. It's just natural for us. And I've noticed that even when I work with other people, it's not as easy as for me to work with him, because there was a time we were recording together and we were doing a bit, and everybody in the room did not recognize that we were doing a bit,
Yeah.
and they interrupted us and we were like, guys, no, we're playing. And they're like, oh, you started? We're like, yeah, like they just. So I think definitely, yeah, the dynamic is something special, like big time. We've been kind of waiting and pushing for it to be this way, and yeah, we're happy. We're happy with the direction that it's going. Definitely.
And that's what people don't realize about this thing. Is like everyone sees you guys and, you know, podcasts like mine and stuff, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to do it and it's going to be great.
Yeah. They see the wins.
Sometimes I'm like,
They
dude, for
see the
4 years,
wins.
Yeah.
for 4 years, I was telling my wife, just trust me on this one. Like, trust me, I know what I'm
Yeah.
doing. Like, before it really started making money. kind
Yeah.
of thing. She was like, yeah, it's cool and everything. Yeah, you're meeting celebrities and yeah, you've got celebrity friends and all that, but you know what I mean?
Same thing with our
School fees are
parents.
coming up. Like, do you know what I mean? And you know the school fees here, like I'm sending them to NASA as far as I'm concerned for what I'm paying. Come back and tell me that, hey, I learned this new song. I'm like, motherfucker, you better tell me exactly what happens when you split an atom. Like, I don't care if you're 7, but I want to know the theory of relativity because I've just spent 2 million dirhams
Yeah.
for the last 2 years of you in school. But it takes so long. Like
Yeah.
even someone like Simon,
Yeah.
13 years
Yeah.
is when it
Mm.
really kind of started going off. And I don't think they see it. You do get the lucky outliers who might do it quick, but I don't think people realize what it takes.
Yeah. Big
Mhm.
time.
Right.
Even if you have all the talent in the world, you still, two things I've noticed is, one, you need a good network. You need people around you
Yeah.
that want to help you and
A
want to
network, a
push you.
support system. Yeah.
Yeah. And two is you need the drive also to want to do it, because very rarely, I would say, unless nepotism, very rarely do things just fall in your lap, you know? So that's,
I mean, nepotism would be a great thing for you guys, right? just like
Yeah, that would
back and forth between each other. It's like, I need someone. I have a guy. Like, just straight away, right?
That'd have been great.
Yeah, that'd be great.
What's the difference in ages between you guys?
How old are you again?
Four and a half years.
Yeah.
4.5.
roughly. Yeah.
You're how old?
30, just turned 30.
Just turned 30.
I'm 25.
I don't know. I mean, I could have just made that up in my head. It's way too much of a calculation. -5, please. Yeah, so you guys are still babies as well when it comes to that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow,
I'm
that's
excited.
That's crazy. And how do you feel? Wait, you still working, right?
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
What do you do for work?
I'm in the digital or IT department of a healthcare company.
Okay, and how do you feel about doing that when you're being so successful on the other side?
The good thing is I love my job.
Okay.
Like, I love my job. So it's very easy for me to essentially clock in and then clock out. Like, it's essentially, especially since he's helping for a lot of it, it's just a matter of, okay, I need to just dial in, help him make a decision or two, dial back out, focus on what I'm doing, and then stuff like that. And he's been very patient as well, because there are times where he's like, oh, let's do this. And I'm like, bro, I just got out of like an 8-hour, I'm not about to do this. There's no way. And he's like, okay, but what about, and so at first I was like, just, you have it, you got it, don't worry about it. And then I was like, okay, no, realistically, this is what we've been working towards like our entire lives.
Yeah.
So like there has to be some sort of compromise, even though like I'm quote unquote busy. And so now I'm like, okay, if you want to do this, we have to do it on this day because this. I explained to him very carefully that this is why we have to do this on this day because this. And if that works for him, he's like, sure. And if it doesn't work, then he's like, okay, but what about this? And like I think, but to be fair, that is because we're I think that's because we're related. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah.
Like
otherwise.
if you weren't like that close already.
Yeah.
Because I'm like
No, because quite frankly, I would have probably done a lot of things by myself. I can't deal with this guy.
Yeah,
for sure.
But
And you would have hated yourself.
Yeah.
Bro. If you stuck with it for like 10 years and then the 10th year you were like, guy, I'm going to do this.
So
And
that's
all of a
the funny
sudden this
thing.
guy's making bank, bro. I mean, he'd give you a bit, but he'd be like, bro, I worked hard for this, bro.
So that's the funny
Right?
thing is actually we tried with short form content before. I think about 2 or 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And it didn't. We tried for like a good I think 6 months.
Oh,
And
yeah,
it
I
didn't,
was trying
and it didn't work.
because we missed Vine.
Yeah.
We completely
Yeah,
missed
man.
Vine.
We missed the Vine era.
And so like I was just like, all right, fuck it, whatever. So I
Short
just
form
started
was not
posting
for
on
us.
Instagram,
Yeah.
and then Instagram didn't really do anything for me. So okay, fine, I'm going back to YouTube then. Fuck you guys.
Yeah.
And so it was when the pandemic hit that he was like, okay, let's try this again. Since this new platform has just shown up,
That was TikTok at the time.
TikTok, and then it just kicked off.
Were
from
you
there.
working during the pandemic?
I was working during the pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you were just like the same pre-pandemic and post-pandemic.
I
You
was
were like,
sti-
you're like, I'm still doing the same shit, only now I'm wearing a mask.
I was still in university. So
Yeah.
I finished university in 2021 and that was when I was like, okay, let me find something to do with my passion. I just wanted to make videos and make people laugh.
It's weird, right? When you have that drive for creating something, or once you get in it and it's kind of what you do,
Yeah.
it's so difficult to think of any other thing that you could possibly do in life that's
Literally.
Yeah.
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 Could you imagine now having? Sorry, no shade thrown.
No, of course.
But could you
No,
imagine
because we have
having
these.
to go back to work and be like, "Excuse me, boss, I'm going to be 5 minutes late."
We talked.
Like-
We had this conversation literally a few days ago because I think, and that's the thing for me is I did work in some agencies for like I think 3.5 years roughly, and I'm now on my own. I'm now building my own thing, and definitely, what clicked for me was I just felt like it wasn't for me. It just wasn't. And I don't want to sound. I hope it doesn't sound like weird, but I just feel like, especially with the amount I create and what I do, I think it's better for me to just be in charge of what I do. And even if you ask him, he kept telling me, "Let's get somebody else to do it. Let's get somebody else to do this for us. Do that." And I kept telling him, "No, I want to be in charge. I want to take care of this. I want to be hands on.
He's very proud that way.
I want to. Yeah.
Yeah,
Even
proud
it's
that
just
way.
recently where I've kind of like let things go slightly, but for me, like you said, not just creatively, but like I love learning. A lot of my early videos was
him figuring. Oh my.
every week
God.
I would try
Just
to do
litmus
something new.
tests.
Yeah.
Oh my
I'll try to do something new, whether through editing or through.
He had a series where
literally it was me testing editing. But
he
nobody
was
knew.
like, he's like in a restaurant and the customer orders water.
Yeah.
And then the customer
Simple
takes a sip
concept.
of water, and then the customer complains about the water for whatever reason. And he did like 12 videos of this, taking comments from whoever left them. And each video was a completely different. There was one where it was like, the water is too spicy. And I think he edits himself to look like he's in Minecraft taking fire damage or something like that.
There
And,
was
like-
one where the water was too salty, and I actually filled my mouth with salt and
Salt,
I
and he
spat
spat
it
it
out.
Then there was one where he had to learn how to rotoscope as
Or
well.
was it sugar? I can't remember.
And like when he starts doing those things, he disappears.
Mm.
You don't see him for like a day or two. And then he comes out, he's like, look at this video. And I'm like,
this one or this one?
you have you seen the sun?
Yeah.
And he's upside down. Like, look at this.
But that's why he is who he is
Yeah,
right
that's
now,
why I
right?
came
Yo,
out the way it is,
I
yeah.
don't. I have no issue because I'm a bit of the same. But like
Yeah.
he's turned up to like 11. I'm like at
Yeah.
a 7,
Yeah.
8. He's like
But that's
11.
because you're lucky enough to have him doing that. Like, I'm not starting no beef because after driving home, you're like, lucky, yeah? Yeah, you're lucky. Okay. No, but in a sense where, I mean, that's a beautiful thing for you because you get to still be a part of and do what you want to do, the creative side, just like he does.
Yeah.
But you've got someone who's like, okay, you go do your thing. I got your back. I'm going to look after this side of it,
Yeah.
which also is not, do you know what I mean, easy to do.
Mm.
And if you wanted to hire someone else to do it, you'd have to pay them. And on top of that, he's the other person in your duo. So when it comes to controlling the quality of it,
Mm.
you know 100% he's married to making it the best because he's in
Yeah.
it, as opposed to
That's
some
a-
other person
No,
who's
you're entirely correct. Yeah.
who's going to do that.
My thing
Just
was
have
just
that
like,
on repeat. You're entirely correct. You're entirely correct. I want to use that for another. Yeah.
Well. But yeah, no, it's something of like we've taken time to taking a pause from everything and just been like, okay, we got this, we're good, we're fine, et cetera, et cetera. We align a lot because I recognize, obviously, like he said it a bunch of times too. He's like, there's no way he would have been able to work a full-time job and do what
And
he
do it,
does
yeah,
right
so-
now.
Yeah.
And at the same time, like at the point that I am in my career, quote unquote, I kind of actually just step away. Like I have to finish a few things that I have set up, and then I can play with the idea of stepping away. And like I said, I love my job anyway.
We've talked
And this
about
is like
it.
It's a very good quote unquote side hustle
Mm.
for me, and for him, it's a full-time thing. And at some point, it could become full-time for the two of us.
Yeah, we've played with the
It
idea.
will become full time for the
Yeah.
two of you.
Yeah,
Inshallah,
absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
We've played
Alright,
with the idea because I mean, not I apart from anything else, the opportunities that have arisen because of our dynamic and because of how well we work together it's like once in a lifetime kind of stuff.
Yeah, I
you
mean,
know?
we're here.
and we're still technically just getting started. We started working
Mm.
together officially
Officially.
in like September. It's not even a year yet.
Wow.
So it's really I mean, we're here. We're on the show.
Yeah, we're on the show, yeah.
It's my honor to have you guys here, bro. So when you guys way surpass me in money and everything, I can be like, bro, you remember when you came on the show, bro? Come on, guys. Bring me
Right.
up.
Yeah, it
Remember
was-
the 50,000.
Bring me up. Yeah, exactly.
And we pay 3 million
Yeah.
for our kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So have you ever, okay, let me say this very slowly and very correctly.
Hmm.
Which dialect do you speak back in Nigeria? Are you guys Yoruba or are you...
It's Yoruba.
Yoruba, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So have you ever thought of doing it in Yoruba?
So actually,
Because I could have said Nigerian, but then and my comments would have gone
Oh,
off,
no.
and I would have
Oh,
been
no,
attacked
no, no, no,
for
no,
just
no,
saying
no,
that,
You
right?
don't want to do that. You don't want to
Yeah,
do that.
right?
You don't want to do that.
Bloody people.
so
man.
actually, fun fact, and we get roasted for this all the time.
Yeah.
We don't speak Yoruba.
Yeah.
We only speak English.
Leave. Get out.
But
Leave. Because I do. Not even pidgin, bro.
no, Pigeon. I was gonna say yeah.
Okay.
Pigeon is fantastic. Broken English is
His pigeon
fantastic.
is much better than mine.
Okay.
Mine
Yeah,
is
my Pigeon is
terrible. Mine
fantastic.
doesn't
Can
sound
you
right.
see? Can you imagine how much content you've missed out on?
But
now
that's the beauty of
because
it
that?
is
Why not? do
so we
this?
have
he's gonna get a green suit,
yeah.
a white shirt, and then we'll.
So like I have
When
a
you say green screen,
roster.
because we do have a green screen suit here if we want to put it on you, bro.
So I'm trying to work on a roster of characters because I feel like that's kind of the comedy that I grew up with anyway, is playing different
One
people.
person doing
Uncle has to be
Yeah.
one of them, bro.
Yeah,
Uncle,
like,
yeah.
There has to be
Yeah.
Uncle, bro.
And this guy, like Brandon Rogers, like Michael Dappa, you know, he has like
Even
this
Yeah,
whole
yeah.
thing. another-
Septiceye and Markiplier,
Yeah,
for
a bunch of
example,
people
with
that we
their
used to
alter
watch.
egos.
And it just so happens that the suit character is the one that's the most
Powerful.
the most
Powerful.
technically.
That's his Tony Stark thing, bro. You literally just put your Iron Man
the most
suit
popular
on.
right now.
Yeah.
But I also have an uncle character that is fairly popular.
I like that character.
Um,
actually.
I love that character so much. It's just that for right now, I haven't really had too many ideas to
with
put him
them,
in,
yeah.
as opposed to the suit character. But like, I would love to explore all kinds of things with. I think I've done a few videos where I speak in a more thick Nigerian accent, like normally. But the uncle character definitely is.
Yeah,
like,
100%. Yo, guys, so everybody knows there's 2 days in a boat captain's life that are the best days ever. The day you buy the boat and the day you finally settle the boat. After fixing it, after doing all the maintenance, after scrubbing all those little barnacles off the bottom, it's a headache. But that's where the Captain's Club comes in. So they started this really cool club. All you do, you sign up for the year as a member, you call them up, you go on the app, you tell them I'm coming, the boat's ready, it's filled with petrol, you take all your friends out, you go out, have a laugh and come back. You don't have to worry about all of that monotonous stuff that comes with owning a boat. So, guys, if you want to pretend you've got a boat when you don't have a boat, but still have a boat, call the Captain's Club. How have you guys been received actually in Nigeria? Do you get any love back from Nigeria or no?
So actually, I think
I feel
Nigeria
like all the
is-
questions that I'm asking are so personal because every time Dayo just like,
Yeah, 'cause-
like this one.
It's really good questions.
Yeah, good questions. Yeah.
Yeah, because I would say that Nigeria is our top 5. Is in our top 5.
Yeah,
For
easily.
both of us.
Yeah.
And recently, we had a little family reunion. We haven't been to Nigeria since 2019, unfortunately. We had a family reunion in June that we're supposed to attend, but we couldn't make it. And our mom said that she set up. We sent videos back to say, "Oh, we
Okay.
couldn't make it, but like hope everybody's in." And then our mom said that the guy that was setting up the board, or what do you want to call
The
it?
projector. Like,
He turned to her and he was like, "Who's this guy?" She was like, "Oh, that's my son." She was like, "Oh, I know them. I know
Oh,
them."
wow.
And,
Nice.
and she was like, "Oh, really? Yeah, that's my son." And, oh, these guys are so funny. And so we have this like headcanon, whether it's true or not, I don't know, but I guess we'll find out eventually. That if we ever go to Nigeria, we're gonna need security. We're gonna need to like
We're going to need
We're
to.
gonna want to
100%. That's
wear
so-
sunglasses and you know.
But-
Yeah.
and your mum must have been really proud, bro, because
Yeah.
look, that's all we kind of want, right? Especially from our cultures, to make our mum proud. So,
Big time.
you know, when the video first came out, she didn't know why he was asking. She was like, "That's my son." And he's like, "I really love him. That's my son.
Hey, that's my boy.
That's my
That's my
son."
boy.
Kind of thing. Yeah, so that's going to be dope when you go back there.
Yeah,
And then they start talking to you and you're going to be like, "See, the thing about that is, I don't understand anything you're saying." So if you could say it again in
No, but
English.
English is pretty widespread.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Widespread language.
And for the
over
most,
there,
we've even talked about like we code switch in Dubai.
Yeah.
So definitely when we're back in Nigeria, we would use a very thick
100%.
Nigerian
Yeah,
accent.
yeah.
Or you just disarm them with pigeon and they're
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
oh, that's our art.
But that's the thing, like, without knowing it, you become national treasures, like without even realizing it, right?
Yeah.
Especially in the world we live in now with the
Wow.
internet.
I never thought
Yeah.
of it like that. But
Yeah.
wow.
But we're trying to
Yeah.
see if we can go back before the year ends. We want to collaborate also with Nigerian
Nigerian
creators
people
creators
in
as well, yeah.
Nigeria.
But you just need to set that up and just
Yeah.
preempt the whole thing and just put it out there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of things that people I find in our industry don't do is realize how much they can actually do.
Yeah.
So they're like, you know how many times I've heard, "Yo, we should fill in the blanks," and it never happens.
Yeah, it never comes. Yeah. So
Okay.
actually, the past couple months since we opened our agency, I have been, in fact, I've been losing my mind. I've been reaching out to almost everybody
Sick.
that I can see, anybody with any kind of influencer
Yeah.
influence or any kind of connections.
Yeah.
I just reach out to them and I send it, and the number of people that actually replied, I'm surprised.
Nice.
You know, because
But
in
why
my head,
are you surprised? This is the thing that annoys me the most about all of us. Yeah, we never celebrate the victories or realize how far we've come, dude.
because in my head I'm like I'm just a kid, like I'm just chilling, like
You know, I'm just a kid. No, but you have to, because I was speaking to a friend of mine. I think I've said this before on a podcast, and if you heard it, and you've heard it, innit? What I'm gonna do, I'll say it again. I was with a friend of mine, and we're talking about the podcast and all that stuff.
yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I mean, obviously I love what I do and stuff. And she started going through the list of all the names, the professional footballers, you know where this is going,
Yeah.
the UFC fighters, the actors, the people that I used to watch on TV. And I never dreamed I'd be such close friends with them now. She goes, do you realize any of this? Like, have you celebrated any of this? And I was like, not really. She's like, you have to.
That's what we were just in the car.
Because it's a big thing. You have to celebrate because before, this was your goal when you first started doing it.
True, yeah.
And now you're there, you're like, but I need cherry on. There's not enough salt on that. We have to stop halfway through and celebrate these things.
It's even gotten into the point where like for example, I guess that's a good and bad thing. But for example, for me, the numbers on my page are just a number, right? But like obviously when I was younger, seeing those numbers, I would be like, yo, like
forget about
but now
that.
I'm like,
think about it like this. How many views did your last post get?
How many views? Like 200,000 or something?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. There isn't a football stadium in the world now that could hold that many people.
That's true. That's
both in the stands and on the pitch.
Yeah.
Put that picture in your head now. He's going through all of his football teams, Real Madrid, the Bernabeu.
I think we're like 80,000 max, right? I think like max capacity is the biggest one, I think.
Huh.
Picture that in your head,
the one
bro.
that they built for the World Cup. Yeah.
And I'm talking not that number, half or less than half of that number.
Yeah.
You could fill a stadium to the point of people are dying because they're getting trampled. Like, and you don't.
Why am I laughing?
I don't. He's like, I did that. No, but that's the amount of people. When you put it into reality, into real people in a place,
it's crazy.
You could only fit maybe 100 people max in this place.
Yeah.
And we'd be suffocating. So when you look at the numbers, you just see numbers. You don't think about that. Now, on top of that, let's look at it like this. You get a buzz out of making someone laugh, right?
Yeah.
Okay? If you went through every one of your videos till now, actually, way too much. Let me just bring it down to one video. Do you believe in that 100,000, 200,000 people that saw that video, that they laughed, they found it funny? That it brought something to their day that cheered them up or made them forget about their issues in life or whatever?
Definitely, yeah.
One video. In that one video, you made 200,000 people's day, even for that 1 minute. Like a piece of your soul reached that many people in one video, not the billions of views you've had since you started and all accumulated.
That's the thing. That's the thing.
That's a good way to look at it.
Yeah. Because sometimes
that's a really good way to look at it.
Sometimes, like, even in public now, right?
Yeah.
In public, people stop us and they're like, hey, we love your videos. Can we take a picture? And to us, it's still jarring.
I find that weird, bro.
Yeah.
I'm like, why do you want a picture of me? I'm a dickhead.
Yeah,
bro.
like the last time we were out in public, I was literally like, I was wearing like slides. I hadn't showered. Like I was just stepping out to get something and come back home.
I was mean mugging. I was upset.
Yeah, and he was
for something else entirely.
He was really upset. And then these like high schoolers, they come to us. They're like, "Oh my gosh, you're on TikTok," and we're like, "Oh."
But it's beautiful. You guys are reaching people.
Yeah, it's really something. We're even hoping to do like a meet and greet or something.
100%. I've got a place where we can do a live event.
Yeah, that'll be fantastic. Yeah,
that'll be sick. A big place, very good
panel.
Panel with like all the other guys.
So the point that I'm making is like, me personally, I feel like the only purpose in life is to bring joy to other people.
I agree.
I mean, have kids and have a wife.
Yeah.
Great. But I mean, like, for a man to be on his deathbed and think I changed someone's feelings for the better, even once.
Yeah.
I've done right by God or whatever you want to see it, right?
Yeah, that's a W.
You've done that millions of times.
That's another thing is for us too, like I guess the thing about it is the way you just said it exactly, we don't like care if like we post a video and it gets like 1,000 views.
Yeah,
we're no like 1,000 people.
Yeah, we're not chasing that.
Yeah, we don't really chase views as much as we just
or as much as the comments think we do.
Yeah, we
That's
just
another thing.
do it because it's
Yeah, but-
fun or because we find it funny.
Yeah.
And I think that's really, it's a warming feeling. Is it like a, even there's two sides to it, right? Some days we don't overwork ourselves because we know we just can't.
Mm.
And the other days we look at it and we're like, okay, let's put this video out. People are going to like it. We'll move on to the next one. So it's a bit of like self-care and also like paying attention to what other people want, because at the end of the day, you're creating content for people to see,
Mm.
right? But at the same time, it's like, how do I explain it? Like, alley-oop.
Yeah, alley-oop.
Catharsis.
I guess catharsis,
Yeah.
is I enjoy the fact that like anybody enjoyed what I put out.
Yeah,
that's
especially when you
dope.
consider like
Yeah.
how stupid some of these things
Yeah.
are.
Yeah.
Like a lot of people don't realize it's like we don't sit in a room and like think of these things. It's
no.
literally we're in the middle of a conversation. Even today, just today, we're recording like for like the next month, and we made a video. The last video we made, we mentioned like the Powerpuff Girls, and then there was like a thing there,
Yeah.
and we're like, oh, why don't we just, continue that joke? So we did that, and at the end of that, we went on a tangent about,
And then it became another
and then it
idea.
became another one, and we're just like, that's just how it goes.
Mhm.
So like for us to do these, frankly, asinine things, and for someone to be like, yeah, I like that, it's very comforting.
Yeah.
Very
100%. And I think it's important to have places like this where you guys can actually have a place to use that artistic freedom without having to worry about all that stuff.
Yeah.
Like even the way that I wanted to do this place is I wanted to, which I'm talking to a few brands now, to just sell the sets to different brands.
Mm.
They put their logos on and then creators can just come record it for free. Like
Oh, that's nice.
I've covered my, my bills, and I'm all right.
Yeah.
I don't need to make extra money. It's fine. I got what I wanted to get out of it, and do that. And we need outlets that can do that.
Yeah.
It's difficult.
Yeah, that's
So-
something that we're talking about too. Yeah,
Another win that I want to talk about. Are you guys into football or no?
Not so
no.
much.
Not
no.
really.
No.
Okay. So for someone who's into football, another guy watching, getting Patrice to come on your
Yeah, we've
Thing.
had that.
no, but wait. Getting him to like your stuff so much that he wants to be a part of it. This is a guy who's made more money than he could ever dream of, who's met every celebrity he's ever wanted to meet, who stayed in the nicest places, he basically had a very good life. I mean, everyone has their ups and downs, but
Yeah.
he wanted to be a part of what you're doing. Surely that should say something to you guys. I mean, I'm
True.
talking to you like you guys don't know how dope that your stuff is, but I mean, like, if you ever forget, lest you forget, the reminders are there
Come watch this.
of what you're doing, right?
Come watch this, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, it is nice to hear
I need that
from.
because I'm drinking Red Bull. It gives you wings and conversations come very nice.
That's true. Yeah, I love me some Red Bull. Red Bull is really nice.
That was an inside joke for my Red Bull guys.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is like you mentioned again. It is a nice like call back or like like to point it out, because sometimes you do get lost in the sauce, because we were just talking a few days ago about how we have some videos with him that we want to post, and we're just talking about it so casually, Meanwhile, I have some friends, they're like, you filmed with, but how do you know Patrick? And I'm just like, oh yeah, he liked my stuff, and I was in the DMs with him, and they're like, bro, that's crazy. Ivan Wakas.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
yo, I film content. Please, can you set up something for me to meet? And I'm just like, yeah, I'll see if I can talk. I'm like really
See what I
casual.
can do. I'm talking to him on Wednesday.
Yeah,
Let's see what I
exactly.
can,
I just got off the phone with him.
And it's not. The one thing I am thankful for, like across all of this, is that with the amount of wins, the amount of success that we've had so far, it hasn't made us jaded. We're not assholes. We're very humble.
We're still very grounded, because
I don't even like saying we're very humble, because it doesn't sound humble when you say it. But
I think at the end of the day, like he said, he still has his job. I still know what I have to go through to make these connections and all this stuff happen. So I think, and apart from the end, and the end, whoa.
See, so you do speak Yoruba.
Yeah.
That's
That was a good one.
That was a good one. But the comments are gonna
I
roast me,
don't
bro.
know. That's what I'm saying.
It's on both sides.
I'm not
see?
sure.
For somebody who's into comedy, would have seen the speed of that. But for somebody who's not into comedy, would be like, I cannot believe you just said that,
I'm on
bro.
the fence. I'm on the fence because I know someone is gonna point that out.
Yeah,
100%.
definitely. But
We're all dead now. It's like, yeah, we'll all go down together.
let's move on.
Speak, brother,
He told me to do that.
Speak.
Clearly.
I forgot what I was trying
Take
to
a
say.
breath.
I forgot what I was trying to
What
say.
were you saying?
I forgot completely what I was trying
What
to
were we
say.
talking about?
We're talking about being humble.
That's it.
Being humble.
Yeah.
I was trying to. Okay, yes. I
He's
remember.
working.
Yeah.
I was trying to say that we were raised to be. We had a very I guess like middle class kind of lifestyle. So we were raised to like appreciate the small things.
Everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also with licks, right? Did you guys get licks when you were growing up?
Oh yeah, big time.
Bro, I got so much licks, bro.
I
got
don't know what that means.
Lashes.
Oh,
It's English. Universal. So he
Yeah, but
knew.
he said licks, and I was like, wow.
Okay, I could have been like, he's
Yeah,
like,
they
well,
feel
at
it,
some
like-
part of my childhood, like, no, licks, bro. I got.
But yeah, I mean,
Fair.
yeah. So I think there's just
I
certain
think that
things-
helps you growing up.
It cuts.
With, yeah. Like it helps you, with the humbleness and appreciating things.
Yeah, you
It's
have
always
to-
easy to appreciate when it's
Because
been beaten.
even-
It's easy to appreciate, right?
Even he had this thing last year. This was even before we did content. He's been doing a really good job at his office, so he gets bonuses every now and then. And there was one month where he decided to take care of himself. He bought something a bunch of stuff that he wanted because we were trying to. Oh yeah, that was even before. Dang, we've been putting in work. Anyway,
See?
he started buying equipment
Yeah.
to make videos, to make YouTube videos, and to stream. That was even before we had blown up online together.
Mm.
And he felt really upset about it. He was like, I shouldn't be spending this money on myself. And
No, but you have to.
that
bro.
was
and like
rough.
all of us around him had to be like, yo, first of all, like, thank you for what you're doing for us.
Mm.
Because he does, again, he subsidizes for me quite a bit because
Mm.
of the situation we're in. But, you know, we had to sit him down and be like, it's okay. It's your money. Like, do whatever you want with it.
Mm.
And I think, yeah, like we have little moments that just ground us. And
It's funny too because I remember I spoke to mom about that too,
yeah.
and she was like, "It's your money. Like you worked for it. Like it's
Yeah.
okay. Relax." And it's just like it's an extension of like the upbringing that they like both my mom and my dad put in the two of us, where it's like you have to be sensible with your money. Like you can't just and anything that comes your way, you have to be like not overly optimistic, but you have to look on the bright side of things. You have to be a good person overall.
Yeah.
And so for me, it was like I didn't feel like a good person because I was spending all that money.
Mm.
And then she's like, "Yeah, but it's your money.
No, I
like
get it.
it's your win. Celebrate your win."
Yeah, but it's a responsibility that you carry being the oldest brother.
Yeah.
Also that,
God damn it,
which is-
firstborn syndrome.
Yeah, which
Sorry.
is difficult.
Okay,
I'll try again next time.
next time.
What differences did you have growing up? Because you being the older brother had to take on a role that you might not have always liked.
okay, yeah.
Right?
The eye treat thing, a
it
lot of
was-
things you had
so
to deal with first.
I think the biggest thing was not that I don't want to say I was a test subject, but like being the firstborn meant that my parents who had never had children before had to figure out
Figure it out.
parenting
As they're going.
as they're going.
yeah.
And so for me, it was very much as obviously as a child, I didn't recognize any of that. But like as I've grown older, I've noticed that like again, because I'm the firstborn, there's some things there where there's what they think is the right way to go and what I think is the right way to go as my own person.
Mm.
And so we obviously have to have these conversations where I'm like, oh, but I want to do this. And they're like, okay, then we'll do this instead. And so when it came to him, like I'll give you a very straightforward timeline. When I got out of university, I was like, oh no, I'm going to go into content creation immediately.
Mm.
When I was applying for jobs, I was applying for like editing and stuff like that. And my parents were like, no, you went to school, because we schooled here as well. So I went to CUD. And they're like, no, you just finished school. Like, use your major. I'm like, yeah, but content creation. No, they're like, no, use your major. I'm like, okay, fine. So what I did was I ended up working in a fintech company where I was doing content creation for a little bit, and that fell through. And then I tried at another advertising agency. That fell through. not because of me. I didn't get fired, but like the company itself just packed
Yeah,
up and left.
pandemic really messed it up.
And so for them, seeing me go through 1, 2, and they're like, okay, you've done this, you've got it out of your system.
Clearly,
Cool.
yeah.
Go and do your major. And I'm like, yeah, okay, fine, cool. And they were right, unfortunately, but because it's with that major and in that industry that I am now in now. But for him, they were very much like, can't deal me.
Go, Deji. Do what makes you happy, son.
They actually still pushed me.
No, they were still
Yeah.
pushing him. They were still
They were
pushing him.
still
They're like,
pushing
can't
me.
deal major. But then a little, the what's it called? The resistance from their side wasn't as strong with him as it was with me. Because with me, it was like my dad and I would sit down and he would go through my CV. He's like, remove this, give this. Remove it. And for him, they're just like, let me see your CV. Okay. Yeah, all right.
Because keep in mind,
you're a big responsibility. The firstborn
yeah,
is either lifting the family head or bringing shame to the family.
Yeah,
Right?
and I did
So
my
it doesn't matter if the thirdborn is
I
successful.
did my
It's
fair
like,
share of
yeah, but
both,
the
so-
firstborn, he's doing nothing. Right?
but also keep in mind, like, I had already started my content journey before I started working.
Yeah.
So it was kind of like a 50-50 situation where they were seeing the results of me putting the work in with content creation, but also with the jobs I was working, for whatever reason, I wasn't happy.
Also, that's when they also seen us. Like, mom was there when we started our YouTube channel.
Yeah, yeah. And even up until recently, they still tried to, recently being maybe 6 months ago, they still tried to get me to go into a corporate job.
Really?
But at the same time, they were, I would say comparatively, they were still very relaxed.
It's worry because as a parent, you always just want safety and the best
Yeah,
for
and
your
at
children.
the, and
right?
at the
So
end
you
of the
can kind
day,
of get it.
it's
Yeah.
everybody's first time at life, you know. Our parents' first time being parents. So
Yeah, 100%. What do you admire most about each other? I know if you could take this, but I want to go deep into this.
Do you have your answer?
I'm formulating it.
Okay.
So,
For me, I would say it's his ability to adapt. I would say, because he is very like strong on his beliefs, but he's also very like, okay, I see what's going on now, and let's try it, or let's do this, or let's. He's always trying to like adapt in ways that like helps everybody. Even though sometimes it requires a little bit of extra talking to, but but I do appreciate he's somebody that can very much like, you can have the conversation 6 times, and on the 7th time he'll be like, okay. For whatever reason, like he'll just wake up and be like,
Yeah,
sure.
that's accurate.
and
That's accurate.
you know, some people get annoyed that you have to talk 6 times, but you know, who knows, that 7th time might be the, you know, the $1 million, you know, to even get him to do it, it might, you know.
But are you talking specifically content-wise now or life?
Life. Because
I like,
he has a routine.
I have a routine.
He likes his routine.
And I like my routine a lot. So
And-
if you try to move me from my routine, it's
Yeah.
and the routine is there for my mental health. I just want you to be, you know,
Yeah.
like I know it's like, oh, I don't want to do that, but it's like, bro, if I do that, I will collapse. Like, you don't, you don't understand the amount of stuff that like is held together by a thread.
Yeah.
But I think for me, I appreciate how ambitious he is. He's very ambitious. He has these really big ideas, and he doesn't always know how to execute them, but he knows that they're there. And if he believes in it enough, he will work towards them. And that's something like me, I could never, not that I'm not ambitious, but like the scale of stuff that we're talking about is, because for example, like we talked about the water videos from before, I wouldn't, if I was in his position, I don't think I would have pushed myself to learn how to rotoscope, for example. I would have just stuck to like the easiest way to get around that video while still fulfilling the need for the video. But I think that's something that like he's always very much like, this is something that I want to do, and I don't care how long it'll take, but I'm going to do it, and I don't care what I'll need to do to get to the point where I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it. And it's like, yeah, it's admirable, especially since he doesn't necessarily know how to quit either.
Yeah.
And it's a good and a bad thing, because he gets into situations where I'm like, It's okay. Stop.
You're bleeding.
You're dying. It's like, but I gotta.
But I will die on top.
Yeah. So I think that's pretty much it.
Is this something that you guys have told each other before?
Every now
every now and then?
Yeah.
Yeah. In our own little ways.
So you're quite like open to with each
Even
other.
in the car today, I was stressing out about like having to organize things by myself. I was stressing out about having to organize things by myself currently because I don't have a PA or anything. I literally in the car, he was like, "You're doing a good job. Don't worry. Like, relax." And I was like, "Yeah." It was enough.
It's important, man, to have that, because you'd be so surprised with brothers and family how little, again, we celebrate what the others mean to us.
Yeah.
And not just that, actually give them their flowers and tell them that kind of stuff. So I think that's really important. Who inspires you guys when it comes to the satire world or the comedy world?
Oh, there's quite a few people. For me, it's a lot of
Everybody else
viners.
I was gonna get what?
For me, it's a lot of viners.
I misheard that.
What did you hear?
I heard a lot of minors. I was like, what?
For me, it's a lot of people that
That's good. So we've got racism, we've got pedophilia in here, we've got almost all the 3 things that we need for viral.
For me, it's a lot of viners because for people who might not know about the Vine era, you had to create content in 6 seconds, right? So not even like the TikTok era where you can have up to 3 minutes, between 30 seconds and 3 minutes. Those people had to make lasting content, whether it was funny or not. Most of them were funny. Whether it was funny or not, they had to give you information in 6 seconds. And a lot of people that I grew up watching in that period were people that went from those 6 seconds, they transitioned to YouTube. They started making like longer, like 2 to 3 minute sketches. And obviously, you also have like Key and Peele. People like Key and Peele really like influenced the two of us together. And I think those are the major ones.
Yeah, for the most part.
Yeah.
I think there's a few comedians here and there, but I think
Kevin Hart is also pretty.
Kevin Hart is pretty up there.
Yeah.
But I don't. Well, you know,
old Kevin Hart.
Old Kevin Hart.
Yeah, old Kevin Hart.
Old Kevin Hart.
While he was still humble.
Yeah. And I think there's a lot of comedians as well. Like Bill Burr is one of them. I really enjoy Bill Burr.
You coming to the show?
Huh? I didn't know he had a show.
In Abu Dhabi, yeah.
I know we have
It's coming up.
Because it's in Abu Dhabi, so probably not.
Why?
I can't.
Oh, we can drive there.
When is it?
I'll find out the date for you. We're going. I can't go because it's in Abu Dhabi. It's an hour's drive, bro.
Oh, I thought.
It's an hour. Yeah, we've been doing skits the whole day. No, it's an hour's drive. Why would you not
It
go?
depends on the day, because I still have work.
Okay.
We need to get him to quit this thing, bro.
Yeah.
No, but even if you have work, it's never going to be at 1 hour in the afternoon, dude. It's going to be like 7, 8 p.m.
I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
No.
No, the shoe will be. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so we'll go around it. Okay, Bill Burr. So that's
We'll figure it out.
I love Bill Burr, honestly. His comedy is just, I just love that raw social commentary of, you know, he doesn't care.
That's like an average tangent, an average Deji and Dayo tangent right there.
Actually, yeah.
So do you guys think, here's a question.
Often, yeah.
I hope so.
Do you guys think that you're funny, or is this something that you've thought about? Do you guys think that you're funny on Reels, funny in general, or funny when you've written it? Did I just structure that completely wrong? So it makes
you
no
got
sense.
it. You got it.
I think we should answer individually.
Yeah, I think that might be
because I personally feel like I suck at writing jokes. I think I'm a very spontaneous person. And even, fun fact, in our videos, everything is improvised.
Nice.
So we mostly write the if thing because because those things are kind of like, you know, you have to think about that. But aside from that, like the after, like the thing where he's
the
like,
reactions.
Yeah, the reactions and the like back and forth are mostly improvised. And I would say, yeah, I'm generally funny because you know, I interact with people. I did try stand up one time.
Nice.
I'm planning to try again.
That's what I was leading
at some
to
point.
as well.
Yeah. I want to get into that. I really want to get into that again. The first time I did it, I wrote a little bit of jokes and then I improvised.
Crowd worked and just
I panicked.
Yeah.
I panicked.
I couldn't really see the crowd.
I couldn't see the crowd because the lights, and it was a very small crowd. But definitely, yeah. I think I would say, yeah, I'm a funny guy.
Yeah, I would say funny in general.
Yeah.
But I would say that I think if if I could get someone to write for me rather than me writing my own stuff, then I
You
would
could
be funny
perform
on
it.
paper as well. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because when I write it myself, I tend to overthink it. And
Yeah.
I've told this, like, even on that other podcast that we were on, I said sort of the same thing where I told him an idea of a video I wanted to make. And I messed up because I scripted the entire video. And
Till now, he's like really overthinking.
yeah, I just cannot get out of my head for that video at all. So I've just kind of like put it on the shelf. I'm like, yeah, well.
But why do you think that is? Do you think it's because you need it to be exactly like super funny as opposed to will people get this? Like, where do you go?
So
over
I
the
think
top?
I think it's two things. I think one, when I write them down and then recite them, it lacks a level of sincerity
Yeah.
that I would normally get from like passing aside comments or stuff like that. And the second one is the delivery in my head is different from how it sounds when I record it. So like when I record it, I'm like, why do you say it like
I
that?
think it's the issue I'm having with those YouTube videos.
This guy is weird. Why do you say it like that? That's
Yeah. No, I get that. And there's a lot of people like that. Like, I'm starting another podcast with a friend of mine. He's a comedian, Ali Al Sayed. I don't know if you know him. He's one of the oldest. He's a local guy.
sounds familiar.
And he was like, look, bro, I don't want to know anything. I don't want to know what we're talking about. I don't want even premises. I don't want subjects, because once you tell me, then my comedy writer brain starts coming in. And then I start planning funny things for it. Or then I start thinking what you should not say on camera and all that stuff. He's like, just get me as it is, and then we'll go.
It's kind of like thinking about breathing or walking, you know? When you're like very like focused on walking, you probably trip.
Yeah.
So-
You focus. No. Yeah, right? That's another one.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I get it. So for you guys now, what's the plans moving forward from here? Wait, another question. Do you think everyone automatically knows that you're brothers? Or do a lot of people not even know that
A lot
you're
of people
brothers?
have no idea.
No problem.
In fact, people that we've met in real life, like they have no idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're like, oh, okay. So what about how is
Your friend?
Actually,
your friend?
We had a friend. We literally had a friend.
We had known for like a year and a half.
Yeah, and she was like, "You guys are brothers," and I'm like, "You know, you have to.
Surname kind
You
of
have
gives
to
it,
be
yeah.
joking." She's like, "No, I didn't know you guys were brothers." I'm like, "Huh." Okay then.
That huh is what I see him doing every time he sees somebody that's just the most stupidest thing. Is that huh? So you really are. That's what I think, right?
That's pretty accurate. Yeah.
But yeah, I look more like my dad, and he looks
And I
more
look
like
like mom. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, where are we? What's the plans now moving forward? Is quitting your job a thing that you want to do? Because on one side you're like, I love doing what I'm doing, but if
I think I'm at a place where, like, for the job, it needs to like feel like it's run its course. Where I feel like I'm not learning anything anymore, because there's been so many different things that I've picked up in my day to day that, like, for example, the thumbnails that we make, we're using Figma. The thumbnails that we use for YouTube, we're using Figma. I learned Figma through work, and little things like that here and there. So it's not impossible. It's definitely something that could happen. I don't know when it could happen, and I don't think it's something that I would be averse to. But at the same time, again, I really like my job. So
it's interesting because it's like you rarely kind of hear that from creators. A lot of creators that I know, they're like, I hate my job and I can't wait till the money comes in where I can stop doing this and move forward, right?
But the beauty of it is I'm technically like half of his brain, so he doesn't.
And also, like, to be fair, the thing about the work I do is that it scratches like the back of my brain. I don't know how to. It's like
a puzzle.
Yeah, exactly. It's like putting a lot of puzzle pieces together, because I do a bunch of different things in the role that I am in, and like you come out of that and you're like, okay, mentally, I'm satisfied with what I've just done. Even if it takes a while for a project to be completed, you're just like, okay, these little things that we're doing here and there are fitting together for this project to be completed. And then at the end of the day, you're like, here, go, it's done. And you're like, great, it's done. So
and then another broken puzzle.
And then another one comes
you.
in, and then it's a
Fix this
revolving
one.
door.
Yeah.
But one thing that I did I underestimated was how much fun like a normal day of content creation actually is. So
But also there's the responsibility part, right?
Yeah.
Because we have had the conversation before, and the answer that he gave me was, it has to make sense.
Basically, it's the
there's-
same answer for everything. If I'm getting paid more from this than I am from work,
basically
regularly though, because that's the problem with our industry.
Yeah.
We can get 1 month to make 200,000 dirhams and then nothing for 6 months after that, and you're like, oh, I spent that 200 way too quick,
fast.
thinking it was gonna come.
But I would say that even if we're in a situation, again, it's all about when I think we're done essentially.
Yeah.
But even if we're in a situation where we do a job and the job pays me 2-3 times more than what I'm earning now, at the end of the day, if
you still see it as a bonus.
it's still a bonus to me as far as I'm concerned.
Do you guys ever look at it being a duo? Do you ever fear that, in a sense where if you guys continue to be successful together, and let's just say for some reason Dayo's like,
I think
I'm done now.
I think the beauty of that for me is I had already experienced doing it by myself for almost 3 years.
3 years, yeah.
So I'm pretty comfortable with whatever the outcome may be.
Yeah.
But also I think we would be able to have a conversation and he'd be like, okay. And
I'll
I'll be
tell
like,
him 7 times, and on the 7th one, he'll be like, okay, I'm coming back again.
And it's actually really funny that he says that too, because like I said, we did YouTube together, and there was a point in time where I was here, I was doing university.
Even to Twitch now too.
Yeah, even to it now too. I was here doing university and he wasn't here. So I was the only one making videos for YouTube. I was the only one editing and all that stuff. And so when you talk about, and I'm tangenting into the other question that you asked because it's kind of linked, is when you talk about like what's there in the future, I'm very much focused on YouTube. YouTube is pretty much my bread and butter. That's where I'm the most comfortable. Like Instagram is great, the reels are great, but I think YouTube is still where I would be the most comfortable in terms of content. And so that's what I'm looking at, while also helping him when it comes to the agency, finding new clients, shooting with clients, all that extra stuff. So whatever he needs me to do in regards to the agency is where I would go, even if we're not making content with each other, just because it's our agency. Like even if it wasn't our agency, he's still like my brother. Even if he's not my brother, he's still somebody I know that has asked me to help him. So like on some level, I'll still tap in there. And I think, I think that's it.
Because also for me, I like to see opportunities in like almost everything that comes our way. So 9 times out of 10, even if, like you said, even if we're not recording, I'll be like, oh, this guy invited me to the thing, you should come, you know, because apart from anything else, I know he'll probably enjoy it. He might not think that he'll enjoy it, but he'll probably enjoy it.
Very
Unique
key.
experience,
Very
etc.
key, very key.
Like Bill Burr.
And again, that circles back to the adaptability thing that I told, because lately he has been like, yeah, okay. I can tell that he doesn't want to, but mentally he's like, I know
we don't have to do it 6 times. Let's just jump to number
He's
7.
like, he knows that
I'm
eventually.
super adaptable now. I'm saving you the energy to do it first time. Yeah.
So that's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it.
But it also helps because then when I say, no, I don't want to do this, then he understands that it's like,
yeah, I'm like,
there's no point in us like.
Has there been anything recently that you've been like, this is a great idea, and he's been like, leave me
mostly
out of it?
streaming.
Mostly
Mostly
streaming.
streaming. So we're trying to stream. I've been trying to stream video games. We stream under our collective brand that we call Trident, which
Trident
is also
GC.
the name of our media company,
Trident Media.
Trident
Nice.
Media. And so I stream under Trident. And the idea was that we were supposed to stream together, because people know us together, you know. And Trident is the name that we came up with in 2015 when we started doing content
nice.
For
creation.
the YouTube channel.
Our YouTube channel, yeah. So
Trident. No, I looked at your camera. Mine.
so, you know, I for streaming, I got my setup before he got his setup ready. So I was like, okay, I'll start streaming. I'll do the setup. And then I had plans to like keep people engaged. And then after a while, I was like, oh, you should join me. And he's like, oh, nah, you got it. And I'm like, no, but like, it's not my page. It's our page. And he's like, nah, you got it. And so that was something that we had to like.
There's money to be made from that
Yeah,
streaming, dude.
yeah.
Like more than YouTube, more than any of these
Yeah.
things.
We actually got affiliated quite quickly,
Pretty
within I
quickly,
think
yeah.
3 or 4 months.
Yeah.
Now things have slowed down because we're very inconsistent because we're working on the agency. But definitely, I thought it would be a fun way to interact with our
Yeah.
our base, and
You
also
were trying so hard not to say fan there.
yeah,
With
no.
our
Supporters.
But also
Community.
we play like we said at the beginning, we play games so much anyway, so we're like, yeah, let's.
Yeah, you might
Why
as well
not?
just
Yeah.
turn on the
Yeah, yeah.
camera.
But he, like you said, he comes back from a long day and he's like, I can't do this,
Yeah, I know.
and I'm like, okay, I'll take care of it. But also with, like I said, with the agency, I've been exhausted.
But also,
100%.
that's one of those things where like there was a compromise that way. Because I told him like, okay, if we're gonna do this, we have to do this on like Wednesday,
Mm.
because
Once
I
a
know that
week, yeah.
Wednesday is like my lightest day, quote unquote, and like there's less distraction. So if we're doing it, we do it on Wednesday. And that was after we drew a timetable. The timetable didn't work.
Yeah,
We said we'll do it on this day. That didn't work. This day that didn't work, and stuff like that. So
back to improvising.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
The
you know what
improv.
it is, right?
Back to improvising.
Seems to be the best way
I'm like, hey,
forward
you
for
down?
everything.
He's like, I haven't eaten dinner yet. I'm like, okay, so I guess we're
Yeah.
not doing
You guys are just on the Google Drive, like, yes, no, yes, no. No, but it just seems like a beautiful journey to be able to share with your brother.
Yeah, big time.
100%. Is there anything that you guys feel like we missed out?
I guess, can we yap a bit about our agency?
Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah.
That's why we're here.
So I, like I said a while ago, I started working in the creative industry about 2021,
21, yeah.
about 4 years ago now.
Mm.
I've worked with different agencies, different companies, I've worked with Popeyes, I've worked with Power Horse, I've worked with all these guys, right?
Shoutout
And
as well.
yeah. And so I remember when I was joining one of the agencies, one of the questions that they asked me in my interview was, hey, why aren't you doing this yourself? Like, you have a pretty big, like, page. And I was like, I don't.
Yeah, right.
And I remember that because
Is that you got money.
he came back and he was like, the guy asked me a really weird question. I'm like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
what do you mean by weird? I
You
don't.
said no, right?
And he's like, why am I not doing this myself? And I'm like,
Yeah. And I think I remember I told the guy, I was like, oh, I don't have money. He was like, you don't need money.
Yeah, you
You
don't,
just
man.
go to. I was like, yeah, but I don't have. He was like, you don't need that. I was like, okay. Well, anyway, I want to work for you. And after about a year and a half, about year and a half working there, in total it was like 3.5 years roughly. I decided, I think it's about time I just do this myself because of many reasons. Don't need to get to, but I
That's
think
for the
it's
Patreon episode that's coming out after this. Right? Yeah.
But I was like, yeah, it's about time I do it myself. And that was before Week blew up. I tried doing it freelance for a while. It
Mm.
wasn't so good. So I decided, let us lock in. We started blowing up. I was managing his page and I still am.
Mm.
So I was like, clearly, I know how to make somebody go viral. However you want to look at it. I know the structures. I've worked in the industry also. So I was like, yo, let's put money together. Let's start an agency and let's see who we can find out what we can do. And about a month ago, we started our agency called Trident Media based on our brand and our YouTube and all that stuff.
Mhm.
And so far, so good. Yeah. Almost every day, I'm meeting new people, connecting with new people, speaking with new people. The whole point is that we create content for people who either don't feel like, they're like, I never had free time, or I don't like to plan. It is.
Or they have no idea where to start.
Yeah, or they have no idea where to start.
Exactly.
So we come in, we fill that gap, we do everything, and we offer free influencer marketing for them. So they get access to 5+ million followers.
hey,
Like,
and growing.
yeah,
Mm.
for like
For 1 million dirhams.
for a lot less than you
For
think.
competitive.
Exactly.
competitive
For a lot less than you think.
No,
So,
100%.
yeah.
It's needed out there. And look, you know what else is needed? It's needed by people who can back up what they're saying. Daily, me and Win were talking about this the other day. I get messages. I can make your page viral.
Even
I
we
can
get
do
that.
this.
The
Blah,
irony.
blah, blah. I click on the profile. 262 followers. Why are
Exactly.
you doing it for yourself then? If you can make me so viral,
Yeah.
like, should you not, like, when I click your page, I should see some shit. Like, I should
And that's
see some
literally
stuff, right?
that's literally our selling point. Is
Yeah.
like, you have all these like agencies where the marketing director is somebody that collected a document
Yeah.
in school and they've never made a video
Yeah.
in their life. But like,
You should just message them and be like, I'm bored.
Well, the benefit is I also graduated
Yeah,
from RIT here in Dubai with a bachelor's in international business and a minor in marketing. So I know the know-how and I put it to use, obviously, My TikTok has 2.4 million followers.
Nice.
My Instagram has 675,000 and growing.
Nice.
And, you know, his pages from September to now, he has, I think, over 2 million across in just that little amount of time.
It's not bad for somebody who does puzzles all day.
Hey,
Yeah.
gang.
Exactly. Somebody
not
who's working
Yeah,
a
yeah, yeah.
full-time
I'm
job.
not complaining. What can I say?
So it just made sense. And I figured, like, yeah, this, I think that's the biggest selling point for us is what we try to push is.
And it's needed, bro.
And they get access to me directly, like the person who creates. Like you can talk to me directly. I'm not really. I make myself available for whoever wants to work with us. So
Sick.
Yeah.
And that's definitely something that's needed here in our industry, as we were speaking about before.
Yeah.
And we'll speak about after the cameras go off.
Yeah.
Guys, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you.
Thank you so much.
Have
Thank you
Yeah,
so
It's
much.
been great.
This has
Yeah.
been fantastic.
It's
Let
been
me
a
just take
pleasure.
a sip of my
Yeah,
Red
yeah,
Bull.
of your Red Bull
Oh, the
now,
Red
right?
Bull?
Yeah,
Yeah.
right.
The Red Bull?
You're taking it
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
My Red Bull.
Try
Yeah.
and get a picture of all three of us drinking them.
Cheers.
Of course.
cheers.
It's Red Bull. Why wouldn't we?
Cheers, cheers.
Gives you rings.
Gives you rings.
Oh.
But guys, thank you so much for taking out the time. And again, this is episode 1. I'm sure we'll have episode 2, 3, 4
Bring us
coming
back.
up. Yeah,
Bring us
Gonna be-
back.
It's our pleasure.
100%. You're welcome. And again, it's lovely to see your dynamic together, and I'm wishing you all the best.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so much.
my house is your house. Just don't be here every day, because then I'm just gonna start charging.
Say less. Say less.
Deji, Dayo, honestly, thank you
pleasure.
so much for coming.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you for having us, man.
Boom.